Adam Friedman, Rivals.com, here with Rivals 250 offensive lineman Monroe Freeling. Had a busy offseason, took some visits. You were trying to get down to Miami for a visit, but weather kind of got in the way there, I guess. You didn't actually make it down there because of some flight cancellations. But when you look at what Coach Cristobal is putting together down there in Coral Gables, what comes to mind?
I mean, I think it's crazy. I mean, he hasn't been there very long, and he's just taking coaches left and right. And I'm really excited to see. I mean, what's going to go on there? I wanted to get down there really bad. I mean, I tried twice, but for some reason this weather just kind of came in, and you know how the South is. They they don't mess around with anything like that. But yeah, I tried to get down there, and I've been really maintaining contact with them through like about every couple days, really.
Mhm. And they just got Coach Gaddis from Michigan to be their offensive coordinator. It was announced today. What are your thoughts on Coach Gaddis heading down to Miami?
I haven't really talked to him, but I'm sure. I mean, Michigan got into the playoffs this year, so I'll have to get in contact with him and start developing a relationship with him. But I mean, I think it's insane with the staff they're building there right now.
Cool. Okay. All right. Let's move to the in-state schools, the Clemson and South Carolina for you. Both of them have been doing a very good job recruiting you over the last, I guess, 2-3 years or so. When you think about Clemson, where do things stand with them? And you've seen all the coaching staff movement. So where do things stand with you?
I mean, I've still kept a really good relationship with Coach Austin, and I mean, I think I'm just going to trust the process with them because at the end of the day, I mean, coaches are going to go and leave, but then I think Coach Sweeney will probably turn the other coaches into greater coaches, and you know,
We'll see how things turn out from there, right?
yes, sir.
Okay, are you talking to guys like Sam Pendleton? I know he's a Rivals 250 offensive lineman from North Carolina who's pretty high on Clemson. Are you talking to guys like him about what you think of the Clemson program, or even possibly teaming up somewhere else?
I haven't actually talked to him very much,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
so
Well, that's all right. About any other prospects that you're talking to about maybe teaming up at the next level?
not really. I mean, it's kind of far and few down here in the Low Country and just South Carolina in general. So every time I got to talk to the Dorman offensive lineman a little
Marquis,
bit,
yeah,
Marquis, and I've talked to Luke Montgomery, Alex, and all of them. They're all, with all their opinions, but
sure.
yeah,
Okay. Well, very good. Well, let's move to South Carolina. You mentioned Marky Anderson. He's visited South Carolina a couple of times this offseason. You've been over there as well. What do you see out of the Gamecocks and the new coaching, or not the new coaching staff? I just, Coach Beamer and all of those guys.
I think they're on the rise for sure. I mean, they really made a statement in the Mayo Bowl, I think it was. I mean, just pounding on North Carolina like that. But I mean, I'm excited to see where they're going. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's been a while since they've really been on the rise. So
Mm-hmm. Well, you see what they did in the transfer portal, getting Spencer Rattler.
yeah,
They've got a couple of good players coming in via that route. Is that making an impact with you?
I think so. I have to. I'm still probably just going to sit back and observe because and grow my relationship because I don't really
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's all about building relationships at this point. And I know a school that you have some pretty strong relationships with is North Carolina. You were there over the summer. Coach Cyril's the offensive line coach, is somebody I know you know very well. What is the latest between you two?
I mean, they're telling me I'm their number one prospect, and I respect it. I mean, Coach Mac Brown actually came down to watch me practice, which I didn't expect whatsoever. I mean, from what I heard, Coach Searles was the only one coming down, and then should I know, Coach Mac Brown and Coach Searles both show up to my practice, and I'm like, oh, wow,
It's kind of a big deal, I guess, right?
yes, sir.
Well, they just got Zach Rice, a five-star in the 22 class, a couple other offensive linemen as well. Is that something they've spoken to you about in the past? Trying to build on a successful recruiting class.
Yes, sir. I think, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
have
I'm sure
thought.
every coach kind of talks to you about the same thing, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move to Georgia. National champs, number 3 recruiting class in the 22 cycle. I know you've had a pretty close relationship with the Georgia program going back to your youth football days. Just what do you see out of the Georgia program at this point?
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, they really had a really dominant year, and I mean, recently my connections and my contact with them has picked up just because I think they had to focus on the 22 class. And now that it's our time up, I mean, Coach Matt Luke came down to my practice, and I've just been growing a relationship with them a
Mhm.
little more recently.
Sounds good. Okay. Two other programs I know we need to touch on: Alabama and then the University of Michigan. Alabama is a school I know you've wanted to visit for some time. What's the latest between you and the Crimson Tide?
Well, because my first offer was South Carolina, and Coach Wolf offered me, and now he's at Alabama, so it'll be cool to really like catch up with him and see how everything's going. And as for Michigan, I mean, right now it's a little different because the offensive coordinator just left, and I heard there was news that Coach Sean Moore might be going with them, but I'm not really sure how that's going to work out. I'm kind of just going to do my thing until then, but I've been growing my relationship with them. Sean Moore actually, Coach Moore, came down to visit me and watch one of my games. I think he came twice, but
Mhm.
yeah, he's been really maintaining contact with me.
Sounds good. Okay. And then the next steps in your recruitment. What do we have in mind as far as visits go for the spring?
I think spring's gonna be big for me because I won't be playing any like spring sports and think basketball will be it for me. So I'll probably be going on a lot of visits just so I can actually get out because I've it's been a busy cut like a year or 2 years because I've just been having nonstop things, and now that really COVID's kind of out of the way, I can actually get out to those schools and explore without having any sports or anything to really hold me back.
Sounds good. Okay. So any schools in particular that you want to get to?
I kind of want to take a West Coast sweep and try to go to Oregon, USC, Stanford, and I'll probably try to get down to again. I got to get down to Miami,
Mhm.
Florida, and probably I'm just trying to get out to every school that I haven't really given a chance to because of just how busy my schedule's been.
Sure, makes a lot of sense there. In terms of a short list, are we going to see one from you come April, May, or maybe sooner or later even? What's the
I
thought
think,
process there?
I think sooner because again, all these coaches have just been going everywhere, so I don't want to make a decision that I might regret and have all these schools just not be there anymore, if that makes sense, or the coaches. So,
Yeah, sure. Well, sounds good. And then a decision possibly before your senior season, or are you going to wait a little bit?
we'll just have to see the road when it takes me there. I mean,
Mhm.
when we get there, we get there. But when I know at the end of the day.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. All right, Monroe Freeling, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.